Good evening, BookTube, YouTube. This is Johnny. I thought I'd make a video since I'm alone here tonight. It is a Tuesday night. It is October the 10th, 2023. It is 7:24 in the plan of redemption. And yeah, it's a Tuesday night. It is 7:24. I just was outside, filled the bird feeder up and put clean water in the bird bath because tomorrow it's supposed to pouring rain and the bird feeder was almost empty. Usually the birds go through, a couple pounds, at least a pound of bird seed a day. Oh, maybe, maybe not, maybe I'm exaggerating there, but I have to fill it up about every other day. And so I wanted to fill up because I didn't want to go out in the rain tomorrow. It was supposed to be pouring rain tomorrow. So I did that, and as I was filling up the bird bath, Carol called, and because the internet was down all day, the internet was down, and it just came on, and I was able to write in my online diary, Crooked Fingers, which I usually do in the afternoons. Checked my email, which is always nothing really. Put away my diary since I got nothing to write. I closed on 899. So tomorrow morning, if I wake up and I'm still in the land of the living, it'll be 900. It'll be page 900. So I have it already. Tomorrow will be October the 11th. So yeah, the day went by and I said I would make videos showing you the used books, the thrift store used book haul. I had 30 books. Yesterday I showed you 10, and now I'm going to show you another 10 tonight. What I got at thrift stores, Salvation Army, Goodwill. And I haven't gone, well, there is a Goodwill near where we live where I buy books. And then there's Action House, and then there's Legacy Thrift Store, just in where I live, a couple of minutes. So, but today I did get that book I had pre-ordered from the New York Review Books Classics. I got it in the mail. No, Amazon delivered it. It's called Lies and Sorcery by Elsa Morant, translated out of the Italian by Jenny McCree. Yeah, so I was reading this evening. Well, I've been up since 4:45, so I'm really having a hard time staying awake tonight. I'm trying to, as you all know, I'm changing my sleep patterns. And so I got this in the mail. It says in the back here, Elsa Morant is one of the titans of 20th century literature. Natalie Ginsburg said she was the writer of her own generation that she most admired, and yet her work remains little known in the United States. Written during the World War II, Morant's celebrated first novel, Lies and Sorcery, is in the grand tradition of Stendhal, Tolstoy, and Proust, spanning the lives of 3 generations of wildly eccentric women. So I read that, and I did read this afternoon The Paper, The Life and Death of the New York Herald Tribune by Richard Klugger. And then this morning, in my foggy state, I read Scripture, The Genesis of Doctrine. This is really good. This is by Francis. It's I like the way it's constructed, the argument. So I'm really find it interesting. So here's the books. I'm not going to go much into them. I'm just going to show them. I got this at Blue Stockings. These I got. Oh yeah, I got these at Blue Stockings. Let me see here. Yeah. I got these at Blue Stockings Bookshop. What I do is when I have a bunch of used books, I take them there and I get in-store credit. And I go there about every couple of weeks, look around, and I found this memoir by Hayden Herrera. I have a biography that she wrote on Frida Kahlo, who's a Mexican painter. But this is her memoirs, Upper Bohemia memoir. And yeah, I have she wrote a couple of biographies, but I have it on, she wrote one on Gorky, a biography, Matisse, and she wrote one on Frida Kahlo. So I picked that up. I like memoirs. I got this for almost nothing. I can't even pronounce the name, but this is by Belloc, who's a very famous French writer. And this is a biography on, he was a bishop when he was 21, cardinal before he was 40, master of France for 18 years, and the most powerful man in Europe in his day. Armand Jean de Bis Cardinal, I can't pronounce the name. So I just picked it up because Hilaire Belloc, I can't pronounce his name, but he's a very famous French writer, and this is a translation. And then I picked up this Mary Austin at the American West by Susan Goodman and Carl Dawson. She was she lived from 1868 into 1934. Eccentric, independent, unstoppable, was 20 years old when her mother moved the family west. Austin's first book at her new home, Glints from California's Tijan Pass, reset the course of her life, changed her into her horizons, and marked the beginning of her understanding not only about who she was, but where she needed to be. At a time when Frederick Jackson Turner, very famous historian on the American West, had announced the closing of the frontier, Mary Austin became the voice of the American West. In 1903, she published her first book, The Land of Little Rain, and it's about her life out in the West. And then I picked this up at the public library. They still sell used books in little racks. I stopped by there and looked at what's in the rack. This is called Stalin's General, The Life of Georgy Zhukov. I can't pronounce the name. This is by Geoffrey Roberts. I don't know. It was $2 and it had a chapter on Stalin and Stalin's general, and I don't know, part of my Russian history collection. I picked this up at Blue Stockings too, The Stories of Scottsboro by James Goodman. This, quoting the Washington Post Book World, a rich, compelling narrative as taut and suspenseful as good fiction, and places stories of Scottsboro is almost heartbreaking, not least because Goodman shows what people felt as well as what they thought. Then it goes to more description. It's this innovative and gripping narrative work of history tells the story of a case that marked watershed in American racial justice, or rather it tells several stories, for out of dozens of period sources, Stories of Scottsboro recreates not only what happened at Scottsboro, but the dissident chords it struck in the hearts and minds of the entire nation. It's very famous. You can look it up in American history and racial history. I don't know where, I think I got this at the Finville Warehouse bookstore in Finville. No, Anthony Lane. He wrote film criticism for the New Yorker. I bought this and then I have it in hardback and I forgot, but it's called Nobody's Perfect. It's film reviews. Basically, that's what it is on film. Essays. So yeah, quoting Martin Amis back here, Anthony Lane has energy, wit, taste, learning, most significantly elegance of mind. And then it goes here describing, for 10 years, Anthony Lane has delighted New Yorker readers with his film reviews, book reviews, and profiles that range from Buster Keaton to Memoir Negatov to Ernest Stockton. Nobody's Perfect is an unforgettable collection of Lane's trademark wit, satire, and insight that will satisfy both the long addicted and not so familiar. Yeah, he's really a great writer. I've read it. I've had it for years, the hardback, but I picked up this paperback. I also picked this up at the Warehouse used bookstore in Finville. Socialism and the Intelligentsia, I can't pronounce it, but it's 1880 to 1940. The Intelligentsia, edited by Carl Levy. It's just a bunch of essays, and there was in here that looked interesting. It was titled by different scholars. Let me see here. Let me see here. It just looked interesting. It has a essay on Max Weber and the German and social democracy. They had one on, I just looked, I don't know, reformism and bourgeois verification of the labor movement. I don't know, it just looked interesting, so I picked it up. I got this at Action House thrift store, Paperboy, Confessions of a Future Engineer by Henry Praski. I have his book, The Pencil. He wrote a book called The Evolution of Useful Things. He wrote a book on bookshelves I have downstairs. This is his memoir. I got this at Finville Public Library book room. It was nothing. I have books on Churchill. I got rid of a lot of them, but I got this one, Churchill, The Life, by an authorized pictorial biography by Max Author, because I like the old photographs. That's why I got it. I think it was 50 cents. I just like the old photographs of Churchill and time of the Second World War. And I have biographies on Churchill, and he is a kind of a fascinating character, painter. He was a writer. He wrote on the Second World War. He just an interesting individual. Here's when he was younger. So, and then I picked this up at the Finville Public Library book room. This is on the very famous dancer. I can't pronounce his name, but you're all familiar with him. This is by Julie Kavanagh, The Life of Nureyev, I can't pronounce his name, a Russian ballet dancer. I don't know. I like biographies of all kinds of artists, dancers, poets, painters, jazz musicians, rock and rollers, cowboy singers, mad poets. I don't know, it was only 50 cents. So I just collect biographies. So I got that. So yeah, too bad I can't pronounce all these words. I can pronounce Anthony Lane. I can pronounce Stories of Scottsboro and Stalin's General, Mary Austin, and The American West by Susan Goodman and Carl Dawson. Can't pronounce his name. It's a French name. Upper Bohemian. I did start reading this. I had my little index card, but I realized I was getting overwhelmed. I was reading too many books. So that's 10 books. I got 10 more over there on the children's table over there. So that's what I got. So today was a rainy, cold day. I read in the mornings scripture, the Genesis of Doctrine. I read in the afternoon the paper. Really, I read this last night before I went to bed. And this evening I've been reading this book, Lies and Sorcery, by Elsa Morant. That's it. So I wrote my diary. I did take a friend to family fair to get, he's been sick with the flu and he needed to pick up some prescriptions. So I took him up there this afternoon, and it was just a very quiet day. Like I said, the internet was down from 12 in the afternoon until almost 6 or 7 o'clock tonight. And then I wrote my online diary, and like I said, I fed the birds, put clean water in the bird bath, and Carol called. So yeah, so the day went by, and I'll just take these books down the lower level, trying to find a place for them. Tomorrow is a Wednesday. I don't plan to go anywhere tomorrow. I'll just read my books, pray, seek the Lord, wait for the end of the world, second coming of Christ. Yeah, this new sleep pattern is kind of weirding me out, but thankfully I don't have to go out into the work world. I don't have to leave the house and go into the maddening crowd. Anyway, I'm rambling here. Hope you had a good day. Sorry I can't pronounce names, or I don't know French, so I can't pronounce that. And I don't know Russian. I don't know how to pronounce Russian names. Yeah, I can't pronounce that word. It's about the intellectual class, 1880 to 1914. So Paperboy, Confessions of a Future Engineer by Henry Praski. I can't pronounce that name either. Then we have Churchill, The Life. And then this, no, I can't pronounce his name, but you know who he is, a very famous. I can't pronounce it. Let me see. This is a mess. Oh. Oh. Can't pronounce the name, but you know who I'm talking about. I think he hung around with Jacqueline Kennedy and the Kennedys. Apparently he was kind of dancer. Anyway, so, and the Upper Bohemia, a memoir. So that's it. And I got a new book I'll read after I close. I might read more of the paper. And yeah, and then before you know it, it'll be time to go to bed and wake up and go through another day. And yeah, you can't stop time. So I'll sign off. And hope you had a good day. Hope you have a good week. I'll probably make another video tomorrow of the last 10 books, which will make 30 books. So thank you for the comments. Thank you for the new subscribers. I know this is a crazy video because I'm just kind of out of it. But anyway, until next time, bye.